Well, hello there. English is not my first language, it is my second language. And so that means I have a native language, my mother tongue. So you find that my mother tongue does interfere in the way that I pronounce English words. Here's how it goes. Mother tongue language interference occurs when our native language influences the way that we pronounce words in a new language. In the previous video, I talked about how sometimes people struggle with the L and R sound, the and sound, because of their mother tongue. Maybe in their language, in their native language, they do not have the or the sound. The other difficulty that most people face is the H factor. So you fail to say the H because of the fact that maybe in your language you do not have the H, the sound. Now that sounds like panting, but it's the sound, the H sound. For most people, they struggle with the sound, the H sound, especially when it's at the beginning of a word. For example, the word home, they say om instead of home. Now, one other challenge that we face when it comes to the mother tongue and how it interferes in the way that we pronounce words is, for example, in the mother tongue language, for example, in Bantu languages, you find that you have to pronounce every letter, every vowel, every consonant. The word chisamba, you are there saying all the consonants, all the vowel sounds as well. But then for English, the story is different. For example, a word like plumber, we end up saying plumber because of the B. We see the B and it has to be said one way or another. But that is not how English works. You have to say plumber and not plumber. You say physically instead of physically because of the fact that you are trying to put stress on all the consonant sounds and the vowel sounds as well, which are the rules in your native language. You say technically instead of technically. So most of the times the overgeneralization of these grammar rules or pronunciation rules that we find in our native language do interfere in the way that we pronounce English words, because you're overgeneralizing and you are applying all those rules to a new language. Another example is how we struggle with the th and the sound, the th sound, because of our native language. So, for example, a word like this, a word such as this, some people say this because it's what they're familiar with. In our Bantu languages, there's nothing like the. All we know is maybe the d sound. So some people say this, or some people say this because our words have the v sound. My name, for example, some people make mistakes. They say Cynthia instead of Cynthia because they can't really pronounce the th. So with the way our brain works, we always try to go and try and do something simpler. So what we've always known, the v, the t, the d, is what we go to when we're saying words such as this, because that's what we've always known. We don't know this. We know this. We know tis. We know this. That rhymed. Another struggle that people face is that sometimes they always add the h sound, the h sound to every word, especially at the beginning. So you find that instead of saying arm, this is my arm, they say this is my harm. Instead of saying open, you say hopen, because that is what you're familiar with. You're used to the h sounds. Hopen instead of open, which is the right way to say it. Do not beat yourself up because of the fact that maybe the mother tongue is influencing the way that you pronounce words. The mistakes that we have mentioned in the video, maybe you do make them, but you can try your best to just get better at it, and that takes practice, putting in the work, saying all of these words each and every day and seeing how well you can pronounce them. It does get better.